Okay, y'all. I said, since I gotta wait for so long for my damn story to upload, I said I might as well tell this story because it's gonna take me a long time to upload it. I don't know if it's gonna be long or not, but I'm gonna try to put in all the details. And I'm gonna tell this story because at one point in time, I was embarrassed about this, y'all. I was truly embarrassed. But now, bro, I'm old as fuck. I done did so much fucked up shit in life. I'm truly not embarrassed of anything no more. That's bad to say, but there's nothing that I done did so much shit, bro. Y'all got stories after stories after stories. I'm finna throw it y'all. So, let's hop into this story. And I'm gonna do some the rest of my fashion overhaul. I'm gonna try to do that tonight. Like I told y'all, my phone been doing some dumbass shit with them corrupt files. So I'm loading up on my tablet. So I might not have my intro video. I'm gonna try to go and do a little something so it don't look so, blank and ugly. So we're gonna try to do something. We're gonna try a little something. Let's hop right into it though. Let me give y'all a little background. The background of the story is, I think I was either a freshman or a sophomore in high school. And let me say this. I'm not finna blame it on stuff that's happened to me, but I was promiscuous. Like, I did shit, but I didn't do shit. Like, I would do shit, but I wouldn't do everything, And I couldn't do everything. So, the background of this, it was either my freshman or my sophomore in high school. And ROTC, let me tell you about the relationship. It was this white dude. If y'all know ROTC, we have like head of the class, and me and this dude, he was head of the class because he was a senior. I was a freshman or a sophomore, but I'm still mind strong. I've never been a follower. Nobody tells me what the fuck to do. I don't give a fuck. I don't have no boss. Nobody bosses me around. I do what the fuck I want, when the fuck I want to do, and that's just it. So I've always been like that after I got older. So he was the head of the class in our ROTC class. So me and him would butt heads a lot because he would try to tell me what to do, and I would cuss his ass out and tell him he got me fucked up. Does it look like I'm your fucking slave or something? So we would go do this back and forth shit. We would be arguing, and everybody be like, bro, y'all really hate each other. And at the time I did, but if you fast forward probably like halfway into the year, he ended up like, okay, this is what happened. We were having a competition. It was like a step competition for ROTC. And it was 6 of us in the class, and we had to, get in formation. We had to be in that bitch, hitting it and doing the damn thing. So we were doing that. So all of us had exchanged numbers so we could talk and make sure that we got all of the information that we needed. And we trying to make sure everybody was on their step so we could win. So me and him, we ended up being in the front of the group. So this is how we exchanged numbers. We exchanged numbers like that. So somehow, like, we were texting, and he would text me. He'd be like, hey, what you doing? I'm like, nothing. What are you doing? And it just became like we actually started becoming somewhat cool, I guess. Y'all, it's hot. I'm at work, but I got the fan off so y'all can actually hear me, because that damn loud-ass fan, y'all ain't gonna hear shit. So he texted me what I'm doing. I said nothing. It was then I done made these bitches more dirty. So the day of the step competition, let's keep this in mind. He bought his girlfriend to the step competition. Yeah, I may have to turn this fan on. It's hot as a motherfucker. Let me just put it on low. So he bought his girlfriend to the step competition. Y'all, I don't talk about nobody, so I'm not gonna say what she looked like. All I'm gonna say is the shocking part was she was black. This was a black girl. So everybody else in the class, I think that may have been black, and we may have had one white dude. Everybody else, when we see him and her pull up and hop out the car, because we at the competition after school, and we see them pull up, hop out the car, we like, what the fuck? This nigga date black girls? We didn't know. Which, how could we know? Because we don't talk to him like that. Like, nigga, we just go to school together. So, no, you're not going to know if you date black girls or not. And that's not something that you just randomly ask somebody, oh, you date black girls? Nah. You're not just going to randomly ask somebody that. Or you're not going to say, hey, what color is your girlfriend? It just never came up in conversation. So, the step competition goes. Next thing I know, probably a week or two after that, but when we were in class, I remember him throwing like hints, like we were cool at this point. Like we got to the point where we had class every day and we were cool. We would hang out and like talk during class and shit. And this is after we exchanged numbers, but it was no talking. It was none of that. He was a senior. He was like 18. No, he was 17, 18. One of them, he was 18, I think. So now, we cool. We in the class and shit now. Everybody, we in class. One day, somebody was like, Austin, man, we ain't know. Damn, I done said this nigga name. He ain't gonna never see this video. Fuck. So, he was like, Austin, bro, we ain't know you date black bitches. And you know me, I used to be the life of the fucking party, y'all. If anybody knew me in high school or middle school, they know this bitch is bad as fuck and she's funny as fuck. And like, bro, I just like laughing and shit. Like, I like that shit. So, I started saying, yeah, Austin, man, you done came up here. Shit, we didn't know you was on that team, nigga. You got a little jungle fever or something? So, he like, I didn't even know you guys seen my girlfriend and this and that. And he was like, he was laughing. And then he looked at me and he like, but I broke up with my girlfriend. Me and her don't go together no more. Wink, wink. Looking at me. And I'm laughing. I'm like, why y'all break up? Y'all was cute. Knowing that shit was funny. Let me tell you about him. Okay. Austin. Fuck. Why I keep saying this nigga name? The guy, the white guy, he was white. He was skinny, but he had some good hair. Like, he had the white people hair. He had it, like, kind of fixed and shit to where it would, like, fall in his face. So, I'm not going to say he was the finest. He was giving white boy fine. Let's say that. And during the time, you know, this is me. I'm not really dating that much. Well, wasn't dating at all, honestly. I did no dating. So, this was the first time me having a little, you know, boyfriend or whatever. So, he was cute to me. But he got cute, like, after we found out that we wasn't, like, arguing, we kind of had a little crush on each other. So, how it happened was, Austin was like, I just said a nigga name again. Yeah, I did. He had texted me one night and he was like, what you doing? I was like, nothing, chilling, what you doing? We ended up texting. Somehow we got on the subject of him thinking I'm cute and I was like, yeah, you cute too. We ended up going to school and that day at school it was hella awkward. You know how you tell somebody something in a text, then you see him at school, y'all say absolutely nothing to each other? It was like that. And he felt like I didn't like want to be seen with him and shit. It was just more like awkward. So as the day went on, I came in Chief room at lunch and I seen him and I started like hanging out with him because I didn't want him to feel like, oh, she don't want to be seen with me, like she's embarrassed of me and this and that. Nah, it wasn't on that. It was more of like, it's new to me to be doing and going and being seen with a dude, you feel me? Because it's always just me. So, we talking, and I ain't gonna fake, we had a great relationship, bro. I'm gonna be totally honest. We had a great little high school relationship. He would always, like, come over to my people's house. Okay, and let's start with this. The first time I told my people, I'm like, Dad, I want this dude to come over. But, and I know y'all gonna be like, bro, are you racist? No, I'm not racist, but my dad, he racist. Let's say that, that's bad to say he racist. Fuck it. Like, it is what it is, he is. I'm like, Dad, I want this dude to come over and he's my boyfriend now, but he's white. That was a hell nah, he ain't coming over. You got me fucked up. It ain't none of that. You ain't fucking with no white boys and this and that and wooty woo. So I called my grandma. I said, Grandma, Daddy won't let me have my boyfriend over because he white. Y'all wanna know what my grandma gonna say? She talking about, let her motherfucking talk to him. Oh, Roy, I used to have a white man all the time. You can't not let him come over because he's white. That's wrong. Because my grandma was like, I used to fuck with a white man when she was young. That's what she said. So my daddy let him come over. So it would get to the point where Austin would come over to the house, or we would just be hanging at school together, and it would just be shit vibes. The first time I went to his house was his graduation. So that day, I played in a band. So I was in the band in the audience of the band, and he was graduating. So everybody was like, we wondered who, when we got to his house that day, we're like, we wondered who were the big group of black girls that stood up and started clapping for him. I was like, yeah, that was me and my homegirls. That was us. So we get to his house that day, and literally, it was a total vibe, bro. Like, he was a sweetheart. Yeah, I don't really have too much bad to say about him at all, being totally honest. Like, he was sweet as fuck. He fixed me food. Like, we hung out with his people, because, you know, like, it was a graduation party for him. So at first, we were sitting outside hanging with his people, because he wanted me there. He was like, hey, make sure you come to my house for my graduation party. And I was like, okay, I'll see if my daddy would drop me off. And he was like, no, I'll just come pick you up in my dad's truck. Because, you know, on graduation, your mom and them be letting you do the most, because they, my baby done graduated, and I'm going to let them do the most. So, yeah, let me turn off the fan for a little bit. So, his people were like, nah, Austin, since you graduated, you can go pick up your girlfriend, just take my truck and be careful. So, he called me. He like, hey, just get dressed after graduation, and I'm going to come pick you up, because my dad said I can take the truck to come get you. And I'm like, cool, bet. If you gonna come get me, come get me. So, now, we in the truck, but I let him, he already met my parents this time. Like I told you, he was already coming to my house. His people was bringing him over. My people were coming over, like, even though I didn't like it, which, there's something else. My daddy didn't like it, but his daddy was cool with it. But his stepmama, she's a bitch. She's a racist bitch. And ho, if you hear me now, yes, you're a bitch. Her name is Miss Mueller. She used to work at Russian Middle School in Boulder City. She's a racist, drunk, alcoholic bitch. Literally, every time I went over there, the hoe was drunk, slumped somewhere. In a bathing suit, a two-piece. Get your fat, sloppy ass in a one-piece. You're disgusting. So, let me turn this fan back on. Y'all see how hot it got that quick? So now, that night, we came to his house. We hung out with his people. They cooked and barbecued. We ate barbecue. We ate cake. Then we went in his room, and we literally just laid on the bed, and nothing happened, bro. Absolutely nothing. We just laid there. We may have fell asleep and woke up, and then he dropped me off at home. So, he had probably came to my house a few times after that. So, this is after he graduated, okay? So, I think it was my birthday. Bro, it was either my birthday or the weekend of my birthday. Keep this in mind, he's 18, and we have been talking for a while by now, so, like, we had started talking about, you know, like, little kid shit, you and I'm like, nah, I ain't with the sex or whatever. So he like, well, have you ever had other stuff happen to you? And I'm like, other stuff? ooh, what is he talking about? Because you know I don't know shit. And so he explains the other stuff that he means. And if you know, you know. You know, it's that. So, and I'm like, nah. And he was like, you should let me do it. I'm like, nah, we ain't gonna do that. So I say, nah, I promise y'all, for a good maybe month, 2 months. Not like he asked about it all the time. It wasn't like that. It was just something he would bring up, like, maybe we can try that. And I'm like, cool, all right, we can do that. So it's the week. It's either the weekend before my birthday or the weekend after my birthday, okay? So he comes about and he's like, he called me, he like, hey, I got a present for you and we're cooking at my people's house. I got a present for you for your birthday and I want you to come over and hang out with me all day. At the end of the day, he's still my little boyfriend. He's still my little boo. I'm like, of course, baby. And like I said, at this point, I had already given in on saying, okay, we can do that. Why did I do that? Being a dumbass. Should've just fucking said no and stayed at no. Like, if you say no about some shit, leave it at no. You don't have to change your mind. Even though, like, I wanted to do it too, but I just should have said no. So we get to his house. We sitting outside. We get there. His people, his daddy there, his mama somewhere drunk, his sister's not around. It's just a vibe. We all sitting outside. So like I said, he wanted to do that, right? We sitting outside on the couch. Not on the couch. We sitting in their backyard on some damn patio chairs. We sitting on patio chairs, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. My fucking nose ring. When that bitch like turn opposite way, it make it feel like it's itching my fucking nose. So I gotta just pull it a little bit. Okay. We sitting in the patio chairs in the back of his house. And his daddy out there too. So we just chilling. We chilling for a little while. He like looking at me and smiling and shit. And I'm like, okay. I kind of know what he was thinking about. But then I'm like, well, maybe he just smiling a smile or whatever. So now we go. He asked his daddy, hey, can we go inside and watch a movie on the couch in the living room? So his daddy hints around and says, yeah, y'all can do that, but I don't want y'all in there doing nothing. Which, okay, we kids, we know exactly what they mean by doing, what they think talking about doing, okay? So we go in there and we on the couch and we sitting down and he takes out my birthday present. So he hands me a bag and it's a little cute little present. Like I told you, he was sweet, y'all. He got me a little necklace, some little bangles for my arm, and some hair scrunch. It was just a basic gift, y'all. Like, but it was a thought that counts. Like, bro, you didn't have to give me shit. So he gets me this, and that's not the first time he bought me shit. I noticed that too. He would buy me stuff all the time. Like, it's either he would bring me food when he comes by, or he would go to the mall and buy me something, or he would buy me some kind of like little gift. Like, he was always buying something. So I can give him that. He was a really good boyfriend. I think he's still like that now, actually. Which we'll get to his life at the end. So yeah, we sitting on the couch. He gave me my gift. So now we just sitting there. He got his arm around me. So, you know, boys, like, y'all, boys are promiscuous. Like, they with the shits, they don't give a fuck. Even though his daddy just said, I don't want to catch y'all in there doing nothing. Why does boy he go look out the front door. Make sure the goes clear in the front. He go look out the back door. I guess he didn't see his daddy, or he didn't think his daddy was there. or I have no idea, because like I said, this was him. I guess he didn't think his daddy was out there, and he didn't see nobody, and the house was hella quiet, so wasn't nobody in there. So why he come back in there and sit next to me? He was like, so are you gonna let me do it? Yeah. I'm like, do what? Because you gotta play it out. Do what? Hey, are you gonna let me lick on you? And I'm like, I'm like, no, your daddy already said they don't want us in here doing that. That's the first thing I said. I'm like, nah. Because my first mind told me to say no. That's what my first mind said. I was like, nah, I ain't, Your dad and him said no, hell nah. And what if they walk in, we're right here in the living room. These are all the thoughts that are going through my mind, but then he like, nah, I'm gonna just do it for a little bit. And I'm like, okay, if they walk and they went somewhere, they're gonna be gone for a little minute. Cause it's been times that I've been over there and we've been left in this house for a while, like a long ass time, and nothing happened. But I'm like, okay, well maybe it's another one of those times to where nobody's gonna pop up in here. And I'm like, nah, we not finna do that, cause bro, fuck no. You already know how they is and this and that. He like, okay, just come on. So we end up doing it, and bro, so he's doing it, and no lie, it felt good. It felt good as fuck. So I guess nobody's paying attention, because everybody's in the middle of that. Bro, why his daddy walk in? His daddy walks in, and there's no way you just finna hop up real quick. And bro, the door that he walked through is looking right at what we doing. And he had already seen us. From what he told us, he said, I looked through the window through the front, and I already saw what y'all was doing. So he come in, and he's, come on, I told you not to do it. So he come in, he's talking. So why the drunk ass stepmama come in there talking shit with her drunk ass, Miss Mueller? She come in, I told you not to do that motherfucking shit on my couch, and you're gonna clean that couch, and you put your motherfucking clothes on, and she go into call your fucking parents now. So I'm like, fuck, man. Mama and them didn't even want me coming over here. They already know I'm finna get my ass whipped. Nothing but ass whooping is coming out of this. Nothing but ass whooping. So I'm calling, but I'm calling other people. Like, I had a friend named Chelsea. Her mama, they from New Orleans. So I'm like, bro, let me call Chelsea and tell Chelsea mama to come pick me up from over here. Cause her mama cool as fuck. I still fuck with her now. Mama Chels, hey baby. Hey, I still fuck with you, girl. So I'm calling Chelsea, and I'm like, no answer. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wait a minute, and I'm gonna let her call me back. So as I'm waiting, the drunk ass mama still talking shit. Like, she was talking shit to provoke me to say something. So she get in my face, talking about, did you call your motherfucker? I said, bro, get the fuck out of my face, because you're doing too fucking much. So now, that's exactly what she wanted. She goes into, oh, okay, you'll never come back over here. Look how disrespectful you are. I said, I don't give a fuck. You act like I care. And now, Austin, still saying this nigga name again. This nigga's crying. He's like, he's getting on his stepmama ass. Like, bro, leave her alone. Why you keep, like, she didn't even want, like, he's explaining to her, like, bro, it's not her fault. I made her do it. But he didn't make me do it, so it's not like he made me do it, but he was more like, bro, I'm the one that persuaded her to do it. She didn't want to do it, and you getting in her face doing all this, doing too much. So it's not like he wasn't, like, he was taking up for me. That's something else, like, bro, like I said, he was a sweetheart. He took up for me. So by this time, nobody has called me back, so guess who I gotta fucking call? I gotta call my mama now. And I know one thing, it's an ass whooping waiting for me. So I called him and I'm like, can y'all please come pick me up from over here? My daddy already knows something wrong. Next thing I know, he pull up. So we sitting here in front of my daddy and they tell him exactly what happened. So now it goes from 0 to 100. My daddy's going off. He fucked it. You touch my daughter, you fucking sick. He going off on Austin. He finna whoop Austin's ass. His mama and them scared now. The same bitch Joe is just on that. He raw. All of them scared now. But you was just talking shit to me. But when my mama and them get here, you wasn't on that shit. Dumb bitch. So we end up leaving. We get to my mama and them house. They talking shit to me now. You know when you get home, your ass is grass. And I'm the fucking lawnmower. And I'm like, shit, I already know. You ain't gotta tell me, because I know. You ain't gotta tell me, I know. We get in the house. So, we get in the house. My mama and them, bro, they did too much, bro. Let's be honest. They just did too much. Like, I understand the situation was fucked up, but y'all did too much, bro. They called the police. Yes, I want to file charges against him. Austin was 18. But I think at this time I had just turned 17. Like I said, it was my birthday. And they were like, okay, well, it's not a crime if she was a willing participant. So they come in there ask me, and bro, I'm not finna lie on nobody, especially not about no shit like that. So, like I said, I told them no, I wanted to do it too. He didn't make me do nothing. It's nothing like that. It's just shit we got caught doing some shit we wasn't supposed to be doing. So the police tell my mom and them there's nothing we can do about it. You just have to keep them away from each other. They have to have no more contact. This, and that. So they go to his people's house, tell them the same shit. So that night, my mom and them go to sleep. I have no phone. They take the house phone. Everything is took. Maybe about a week later, because at this time, like I said, Austin had graduated, so we couldn't see each other at school or nothing like that. Maybe a week later, I snuck on the phone after everybody went to sleep. And I called his phone, but he didn't pick up. So so his sister ends up calling back. And I'm like, hello? And she's like, well, and this is the part where I can say, Austin, like, bro, that shit wasn't cool. Like, I know that happened, but, bro, like, it didn't have to be all that shit. Like, we could have, like, still been cool and shit, but shit happens, and I know you was looking at your future and shit, like, but it is what it is. His sister called, and she's like, yeah, y'all can't communicate with each other, and this, and that, and Austin has cried himself to sleep every night since this happened, and it's just been a horrible time. So she puts him on three-way. Me and him are talking. His sister was cool, too. Like, I can truly say we hung out with his sister a few times. Like, she would come and pick me up from my mom and them house, and we would ride with her. And she liked black boys, so she was one of them white girls that like tried to be black and shit. So he on three-way, and he's like, yeah, I still love you so much, but I can't like get in trouble with the police because I won't be able to go into the army and be an MP, or I won't be able to go into the Air Force to be an MP, because he wanted to be a military police officer. So at the time, like, bro, that was like the first dude that I kind of had feelings for. So like, it kind of broke my heart, y'all. Like, I was heartbroken for a long ass time after that. Like, I was hurt. Like, I would mean like really, really hurt, y'all. So time goes by, and literally we just fall off the face of earth with each other. Like, he goes to basic. And, okay, we can fast forward the story a little bit. He goes to basic, and he ended up coming back. Every time somebody come back from basic, I don't know why they do this, but they come up to the high school. Have no idea, but that's what they do. So this has to be literally maybe a year later, a year and a half later, maybe. I'm in class, but everybody been coming up to me all day, and they were like, hey, have you seen Austin? He's been up here today. And I'm like, no, and I don't want to see him. That ain't my man. That's not my business. So I'm like, okay, he is up here. Because I was at lunch, and I was walking through lunch, but you know me, I'm cool as fuck. I'm walking through lunch, and I see him. He sees me. We lock eyes with each other. I keep walking the other way. You not my nigga. And I don't chase nobody. So, I go to class. It's right after lunch. Like I said, I seen him. We locked eyes at lunch. He was talking to a group of people. So now, I'm in class. I get a text from a random number, and the text says, "Hey," and I'm like, "Who is this?" And then the text was like, "This is Austin," and I'm like, I wait a few minutes and I text back and I'm like, "Okay," and then he's like, "Where are you?" And I'm like, I'm in was I in second? I was either in second or third building on the third floor. I mean, like all the way at the top. So that had to be building B all the way at the top. And that's where I told him I was. So I get a text like a few minutes after that saying like, "Hey, come to the bathroom." And I'm like, bro, I sat there for a few minutes because I'm like, bro, maybe you shouldn't even go out there. Like, that nigga, like, really? Y'all have not talked. It's like been no communication. Shit done got weird. Shit done got awkward. And I'm wondering how people at school found out about what happened. I think either he told or my motherfucking jealous ass cousin went around telling people what happened. Most likely it was my jealous ass cousin because he wasn't there no more. But people were asking me about that shit. So I'm like, man, you should go out there. So I go out there. And literally, soon as I walk out the door, he's like leaned up against the wall. And it's like an awkward feeling to see him. Because it's like, bro, I really did like you. And we had the perfect relationship at that time. Like, you were really, really nice. And you were sweet as shit. And the only thing that stopped our relationship was our parents and like outer shit. Like, if everybody else tear away like the things that you have going on. So now it's like, damn, why? It's not my decision to stop talking to somebody, it's somebody else's. You know what I'm saying? So we look at each other and like, he looks at me, I look at him. We on like some regular looking at each other shit. And we hug, and that's all it was. There was no kissing on that. We hugged, we talked for a few seconds. He was just like, "I'm sorry about everything that happened. I'm sorry I had to stop talking to you. I still really like you, and I wish things would have been different." And we go from there, and like, I really did feel good about hugging him and shit. Like, I had feelings during that time, but literally all of that shit went away. It was nothing after that. We never talked again. We never became friends again. I looked on his Facebook probably a little while after that, and he ended up moving overseas, and he became a military police officer, and he got like some Korean wife and kids, and bro, he is moving on with life. So it's nothing. But that was like my first little boo, and he was a white boy. I can't believe that. But yeah, y'all, that's gonna be the story of how I got caught getting my twat ate by the white boy at his mama house. That's sad, man. That is sad.